Hey everybody, it is Deanna with Tools of EnergyProtection.com, your energy shift expert and your Akashic Records advisor. How's everybody doing tonight? It is April the 12th of 2022. Tonight we've got a really special subject. It is something that I'm seeing pop up more and more across my client base, and people that I've never met before are reaching out to me to find out what's going on. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. I'm going to wait for a couple more of you to pop on here. It is just, it's staggering what's happening. And again, I feel like that's going to be the theme of 2022 as this world continues to evolve, as we continue to move forward as sensitives and as a collective consciousness. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's overwhelming. It's staggering. So anyway, today I'd like to get it started with a Tuesday night live by everybody. I've got a new way to start these things so that when we do the lives, we can all come together and feel really good. So today I'm going to ask you to join me in saying that today I claim my power as a beautiful sensitive. I proclaim that I am stronger and stronger every day in every way. I am wiser and wiser every day in every way. I am healthier and healthier in every day and every way, and so be it. All right, so tonight's subject is, I titled it affectionately because I find people like to have these really wild titles. So tonight's title is, are the gates of hell opening? You know, what's happening? Because I did look at the book of Revelation here a little bit before I started to see if I could find anything in there that might help us to understand what's going on. But basically what I'm seeing across the board that might be affecting, you all, it might be affecting somebody you know. And so what I'm asking you to do is that if you know of anybody this is happening to, if you come across it, please share with them, because what we are experiencing right now is literally the hugest transformation that we've seen so far of our world lining up in the, the universe is lining up. We have got literal demons that are being released into our atmosphere. We have second dimensional creatures that because of where we are in space and time, and because of the frequency that we're experiencing right now, we just have so many things converging and opening up. So let me be a little bit more succinct, because I realize I've got so much on my mind and I'm so excited to share that I've got too much going on. So bottom line, are the gates of hell opening? In a way, yes. Does this have something to do with the Revelation, in the canonized version of the Bible? In a way, yes. What phase is it? Is Armageddon coming? No, that's not what's happening. So we have the universe lining up with the center of the universe of other universes. So however that you can imagine that, our universe goes in a figure 8. And the figure 8s are lining up. So you've got one right after the other. And if you can imagine, they're all in a beeline. And so about a year ago now, last March, I was able to access, through connecting to the Akashic Records, which is what I work with the most, I was able to connect in Akashic Records from billions of lifetimes, and from billions also Googles of lifetimes. And so here I was, working with clients last March, all innocent, and saying things like, how many lifetimes has Mary had where she's experienced negative relationships, or how many times has Joe lived a lifetime where he's lived in poverty. And before, when I would ask the Akashic Records and have all those records brought forward, I could access, hundreds, millions, thousands sometimes. And, you bring all the Akashic Records book forward, you balance out all the karma, you love, bless, and release all the players, you close the books, and you're done. And then last March, I began to see googles of lifetimes. And so, you know, I was like, what do you mean googles of lifetimes? That's a pretty big number. But what that meant is that with all the centers of the universe is lining up, my ability to connect into Akashic Records from more existences than just this universe was open. And so now here we are almost a year later, and time has been seeming to speed up. I don't know if you've noticed that over, you know, about the last 3 or 4 weeks. It seems like we have so much to do, which can also make time seem faster, but it's almost like our time has gone more quickly. And I talked about in another video how that the bioelectromagnetism, or the frequency on this planet aligned with where the stars are, can affect the human brain and make it think it's going faster. There's also other things that are happening. So there's a number of you that have been asking me about 5D, you know, fifth dimension, which is funny because if I'm not mistaken, the cellular phones now are coming out with 5G. So I just thought it was kind of funny, the timing. But anyways, dimensions. So dimension 4 would be analogous roughly to where we would see heaven. And then when you go up another dimension, it's like where all the light is, because you've got light and you've got sound and different frequencies. And so the consciousness of humans is elevating to the 5th dimension, if that's the way you're thinking of it, if that's your language. And so that means that a lot of us that are physically here on this planet right now, our consciousness is higher than what they call the collective consciousness, where everybody kind of plugs in. And when you're connected there, you can see a lot more about what's going on in the playing field that we call, you know, this world that we live in. And so that's where most of us, you know, sensitive, highly sensitive empath starseeds people have been, is connected in. We're starting to see things more and more over the last, well, since 2000. I've seen people wake up in waves over the years. And right now, it's like every time I turn around, there's another person waking up. What does it mean to wake up? It means that you're looking at this world, what's being presented to you, and you're like, oh, there's something not right with that picture. And you're exactly right. So you are here to wake up, to understand what the light is, and to understand what's going on this earth. If that makes sense to you, give me a thumbs up. Then I'm going to transition over to the demonics that are happening right now, to the dark souls that are coming out. How do you know if you're involved in this? How do you know if what you're seeing is there? Lots to cover. So I'm going to look here and see, and I do see that I have some questions. I'm not going to be able to get to them right away, but I will answer just as many of them as I can here in a little bit. So give me a thumbs up if you are connecting in with this so far and you're really curious about what the gates of hell are opening right now. And again, if you find this to be of value, please share it. This is leading edge information, ladies and gentlemen. I've been looking, I haven't found anybody else that's bringing this information through right now. So this is really leading edge. There may be somebody else I just don't know. You can always private message me and let me know. But what I'm telling you is that our outcome as highly sensitive people, empaths and starseeds, is to be aligned to the light and to walk through this world in kind of a Glinda the Good Witch bubble. I mean, we're still going to be part of what's going on, but we're going to be a little bit less scathed, shall we say. And so at this point in time and space, what's happening is that many souls didn't transition. Okay, so here there's a lot of concepts I'm explaining very quickly tonight because this message is so important and it's time for everybody to catch up. All right, so there are souls inside human bodies. And sometimes when the human body can no longer support life, the soul doesn't go through the light, it doesn't transition, it doesn't go to heaven, it doesn't go to the 4th dimension. If you understand that concept, please give me a thumbs up or a smiley face so I know that we can go on to the next step. Want to make sure that you firmly have that information, that sometimes when the body no longer supports life because of suicide, because of sudden death, because, you know, an accident, that all of a sudden, you know, we're not able, you know, to cross over to the light. Okay, good. There's a number of you. Great, fantastic. So here you have this soul. Sometimes they're orbs when you take pictures of them. and the light comes, and for whatever reason, they're not transitioning to the light. That means they're stuck in the third dimension. This is the third dimension. This is the 3D. So instead of being at that higher vibration, heaven, the other side, they're stuck here. And so what's been happening is a lot of those souls, because of the frequency change on this planet, there's so many elements to what's happening. This is only one. As the frequency of this planet is changing, it is allowing for those souls that had unfinished business, earthbounds, whatever you want to call them, to come closer to the people that they were most connected with when they were alive. And so what does that look like? Well, what that looks like is there are people that maybe you don't consciously know in this life because maybe you lived with them in 1935 or 1854. So of course you're not going to recognize them, but they recognize your soul. And so they have come in your presence because they want to get rid of old karma and old baggage. And that may mean that they have a grudge against you. They have resentment. Maybe they're trying to get back at you, or perhaps they are grieving because you left them at an earlier time. Perhaps it's because you owe them something or they feel they owe you something. So what does that look like? What that looks like, ladies and gentlemen, is that you might have a dark entity like hanging around and you think it is a demon. You think it's, you know, a satanic, a demonic, a dark energy, a dark force because it's dark in nature, you know, void of color. And you'll see it out of the corner of your eye. How many of you have seen that in the last couple of weeks? Give me a thumbs up. Where you thought there was something there and you turned and maybe saw something a little darker over here, not an angel, and you knew it. How many of you out there have seen this? Okay, maybe it's good. Okay, so thank you for the thumbs up. I've had clients, the last 2 weeks, my books were so full I could not see another person. I couldn't even squeeze another person in. And this is what they keep bringing to me. And this is brand new people that have been referred to me. All of those of you who refer me business, love you, that I've never met before. And the first thing they're telling me is, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm seeing something dark out of the corner of my eye. It scares me. Okay. Another way you might recognize these beings is how many of you have gone to bed over the last couple of weeks and you turn out the light and you get in bed and you're like, ah, this is good. And this is feeling great. Oh, you know, and you're all comfy. And then bam, just like that, you feel something dark in your bedroom. You feel fear instantly. How many of you have had that one? How many of you have wrestled with, you know, woke up in the middle of the night or early in the morning and you feel like you're literally wrestling with a demon in your sleep, something you can't defeat? How many of you have had that? I know a lady reached out to me today. Actually, I saw her on Facebook. I know her. And she's like, I was wrestling with something in my sleep. You know, I was trying all my gifts, everything I've learned, you know, how to get it to leave me alone, and it just wouldn't. How many of you have had that? Okay, no thumbs up, so maybe it's just one. So what's happening there is that you have got a dark, either you've got this person I was telling you about who is come to settle out karma with you so they can go on to the other side and transition, or, you know, when you turn the lights out, it's like they were hanging with you all day long, and when you turn the lights out, they're, you know, that's the only time that your consciousness will shift to them, because otherwise you're busy. And one way you can think of this is, you know, if your feet are aching and you're on them all day long, you really don't think about it until you lay down in bed, because then that's when you're not on them, and so that your brain goes to that. So we've got that going on as well. Then, if that's not enough fun, we do have literal demons. We have literal demons that have been released for whatever reason at this time. And so that's why I was looking at the book of Revelation, because it, you know, talks about the gates of hell being opened and you know, all these demons coming out. I don't really know if that's true or not. However, I do know that there are quite a few people that are calling me, and they're telling me they've never had any problems with their house. They've never experienced any, you know, activity in their house, so to speak. And for those of you that don't know, I spent 4 years ghost hunting with a very close friend of mine. We had a ghost hunting company, learned all kinds of things. And one of the things that we learned is sometimes people have a house that's full of high activity because of where they live, because of what's happened on that land, because the blood that was spilled on that land. And especially those of you that live out towards the East Coast, there's a lot of early American history there where there was a lot of blood spilled. And here where I live in Colorado, same way, early settlers, you know, big battles, animals, huge amount of animals killed. And right now, those souls that feel that they didn't have justice, or they have revenge or resentment, or perhaps they died on their land, you know, protecting it against invaders, and all that blood spilled, and for whatever reason, they didn't go to with the great buffalo in the sky. They didn't cross over. They didn't go home. And those people are being stirred up like I've never seen before. I have seen so much, you know, ghost-like activity in so many people's homes that it's incredible. And all of that stuff, the good news is that all of that stuff can be cleared. All of that stuff can be removed from people's lands, and the things separated. So those beings that are clamoring to go home, they know you're highly sensitive, they know you're empath, they know you're a starseed, and they're knocking at your door and they're like, cross me over, I know you can. And some of you can, you just don't know how, you haven't had any training. And so they sit around waiting for you to figure it out, and that's scary. So that's a lot. Anyway, if you have any questions, please do put them down here below. If you appreciate this information or value it all, down here on Facebook, there's a place for stars. If you hit the stars a few times, you know, it'll help support the work that I do and keep the lights on. That's always a good thing. I do have a few more things to share about what's happening with demons and stuff like that, so don't go away. If you are one of those people that you keep seeing things out of the corner of your eye, and you know there's something going on and you're not sure what it is, and you're going to bed at night and you're freaked out, you know, or you feel your energy just really super off, any of these things I've mentioned, this coming up Saturday morning at 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, so that you East Coast people can, you know, come pretty early during the day on, sorry, not this Friday, forgive me, April 16th. April 16th, 2022. You got a little bit to get yourself registered. It is this Saturday. And what we're going to do is I'm going to upgrade your shields. So a lot of you are highly sensitive, empaths. You've been, you know, doing, you know, all kinds of different things and abilities for years. And you're like, Deanna, I've got my shields. I've been doing Reiki. I've been doing this, you know, and some of you people are finding out that it's not working anymore. And so if your desired outcome is to remain spiritually safe during these times, to remain protected, and what you've been doing up to now, and the angels you've been calling on up to now, you know, it doesn't seem to fit or connect. It's not the angels. There's a ooze still out there, and it's keeping us in our spirit selves from connecting at that higher level. It's trying to cut us off. So it's not the angels' fault, but if you're experiencing all of this, there is an energetic shield that can be put into your torus, your chakras. And you can fit it right down over the shields you already have. It won't interfere. It's just an extra layer. But it will help you to feel better, to feel more empowered, to stay centered. It's like putting a windshield on a motorcycle. It's the difference between riding with one off and one on. And so the white light beings that I've been working with have told me that we can do this remotely. I know it's fun to be in person, but right now we've got to get as many people on board as we can. Some of you have already registered. And the reason, you know, the reason is to stay safe and to keep your mind safe. And when all these different demonics and satanics and, you know, people from that have had experiences with you that are trying to come and, you know, settle that karmic balance out. You know, it's scary and you're not sure about it. Now, the shield's not going to protect you from them. What it's going to do is give you enough space. You know, it's kind of like telling them to back up a little bit, that you can have some time to think about what's happening for you. So you've got to take action, highly sensitive people, empaths and starseeds. You can't sit there on your butt anymore and say, oh, well, there's demons, there's dark things, but they won't bother me, I'll be okay. No, you're right now being attacked, being sought after, and it's true. So if your shields aren't working, if what you're doing is not working, then get moving forward. I am going to help you put on a brand new shield. I'm also going to introduce you to some healing beings that you may have never met before and how to talk to them and get the help from them that you need instantly. They will act in your life. They'll come in, stand next to you. They'll protect you, guide you, shield you, all kinds of things. And they're just beautiful, beautiful beings. And I have seen them shift people's frequencies almost instantly, but I would like to give you access to that so that you have it, so that you don't always have to come to me to get it. It's just boom, it's like learning how to walk outside in the sunlight. You don't need anybody to help you after that. If you walk outside, there's the sunlight. That's it. And then we're going to do a little bit of a meditation exercise to help you to go within and build yourself up within so that you can walk through these end times. So that's what's happening. And the transition, again, of these souls that are not demonics, these are souls that are earthbound, that are stuck here for whatever reason, didn't go home. And they are now at a frequency in this planet where they're able to rise up, to cross over, to go to the other side. Sometimes they need a little help. So they're looking for the lights, and you're the light. So it's like you're inside that light bulb and the moths are flying out here. It's a little scary. And how do you know if you're part of that? Again, if you see that dark shadow and you turn, if you feel like when you turn the lights off at night that they're there, the evil. I went to bed a couple nights ago, turned out the lights, I lay there and I'm like, oh, this is great, and I shield and clear every night. And the next thing I know, there's something evil in my room. I'm like, what the heck? What happened to my shields? What happened to my guides? What happened to my angels protecting me? What is going on? But it was a being that was so desperate to get help, to cross over, to have it turn itself back to light. It was so dark and it was just full of fear, and it was looking for a way to transition. And so my guide said, come on in. She'll help you. It's nice if they give me a heads up. But there you go. So I was able to put the light in the heart of that being and send that being back to the other side. It was the most wonderful experience, although frightening at first because I wasn't sure why there was something evil in my room. But this is the time to get action. So I'm asking you, sensitives, are you ready, willing, and able to get a new shield put on you to meet beings of the highest vibrational frequency that we can access, that can actively come down and help us change the vibrational frequency of your field, so you know how to do it for yourself? Because when we get done with this, you're going to get the shield. I'll help you install it. You'll meet these beings. We'll do a little bit of meditation to relax ourselves, and you'll have all that information to take with you. You'll have 30 days to download the recording and have it forever if you want it. But this is the time. This is the next level up. And if you don't get yourself leveled up, whether you come on board with me or you have something that you're working on your own, then if you don't get leveled up when this next wave comes, this next release of energies, you're going to end up being so confused, because now is the time for you to take action and decide, where is your life headed? Where is it going? Because there's a lot of us that are going to accelerate, and our consciousness is going to go to a higher level. And the ones that stay stuck are going to end up in a different reality. And you say, okay, well, does that mean that so-and-so is just going to disappear out of my life because, I went the quote unquote high road and they didn't? Not necessarily. But the dimensions are shifting. And if you'll remember, I told you a while back that there's timelines for those of you who've been following me for a while. And if there were 2 or 3 timelines, I told you I felt good, but if there ever came to the point there was one timeline, I'd be nervous. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we are on one timeline, and I am nervous. And that timeline, what that means is that all the trajectory of all this planet and everybody on it is in one timeline. What I found out with my guides, I'm like, great, what does that mean? Are we, we headed on the down slope or the up slope? And what they told me was we're on one timeline because everybody on this planet has a conscious decision to make, whether their consciousness is going to go higher and you're going to experience a different quality of life, or whether it's going to stay the same. And for those of you that are thinking that time's going quickly, you got a lot of stuff happening in your life, just boom, 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 boom. Look at what's happening to you. Because it's going to be opportunities for you to clear up karma quickly and change quickly. So if you think things are coming at you really fast and it's negative, 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 and you're like, how am I going to get out of this? You focus and you find a way. And I'm going to be sharing that some more when I do the shielding on Saturday morning, because it's a whole big dynamic, what I found out. But if you decide that you would like the outcome to be positive and all you're seeing in your life right now is a bunch of issues and challenges coming faster than you think you can possibly happen, let me tell you that the purpose of your life right now is to sort through them, work through them, ask for help, overcome them, process them as fast as you can, because you're being quickened. You're being quickened. So take action on those problems. Find out what's happening. Face them no matter how scary they might be, because you're being quickened to step up into the light. You're being quickened to step up into a better life where everything will come more easily and effortlessly. Or you can stay by the side of the road and just watch everybody else go. And some people aren't consciously aware, and that's because it's not their time to be aware. Don't worry about them. This is about you. Are you going to take action, or are you going to just sit there? That's it. So as normal, I will be at For Heaven's Sakes Books in Denver on this coming up Thursday. You can give them a call if you'd like. I'm going to look at some questions really quickly. I know we covered a lot of material tonight. I saw a lot of people dropping in, dropping out, wondered if the gates of hell are open. Well, kind of, sort of, they are. Because we got a lot more darkness and other things I want to talk to you about other dark beings that are popping up. Timelines are getting thin. I got things coming from the second to the third dimension. I've got things popping in from past lives into people's current lives. It's craziness. So if you got craziness and we didn't talk about it tonight and you need help, you know how to get a hold of me. Okay. The bookstore is 303-964-9339. If you're overseas, you can get a hold of me on WhatsApp or send me a private message here on Facebook. Okay. Hi to Anita. Hi to Deborah. Let's see. Paul. Yes, tomorrow. Akashic questions. Tomorrow, for those of you that are on my academy, I am going to take more people into the academy and start them up here pretty soon. So if you're interested in the Spiritual Awakening Academy, send me a message. But I have a question here. Yes, tomorrow we're having a Q&A for those of you that are already enrolled. And I sent out an email on that in case you didn't get it. Paul, yes, we are having the Q&A tomorrow evening. All right. Hi, Angel. Good to see you. I hope you got the answers you were looking for. Angel, if you're listening and you got the answers you were looking for, give me a thumbs up, a smiley face, a heart, a star. Hi, Missy. Good to see you. Big hugs and kisses. Genesis. Hey, Genesis, I'm still looking for that film for you and I haven't found it. We'll have to get together and get that done. Anita, good to see you. Amy, it was good to see you. It's finally nice to meet you in person, Amy. Yeah, Missy is singing When the Moon is in the Second House and Jupiter aligns with Mars. Missy, I totally love you. I want to tell you all that I have 2 theme songs, and I used to play them on here right before COVID started, probably about 6 months before COVID started. I used to play them on here, but Facebook and YouTube's funny about, if they think you're doing something businessy and you try to play somebody else's music. So here's one of the songs I think is really super appropriate for here and now. It's called Crazy Train. If you've ever heard of it, he's like, I think I'm headed off the rails on this crazy train. So that's part of it. The other song that I like is by Billy Joel called You May Be Right, I May Be Crazy. Well, right now, a lot of people who thought I've been crazy for years tell me I was a weirdo. They're all turning to me for answers. So you may be right. I might be the lunatic you're looking for. And then that's funny because of the moon and the energies moving and lunar and lunacy anyway. Oh, okay. Okay, hi to Dawn. Let's see here. Trudy, good to have you aboard. Leslie, good to have you aboard. Chelsea, nice to see you. Carol, good to see you. Angel says, last night I had a demonic dream. I had to call Archangel Michael and his Legion of Light for help. Now, see, that's what I'm telling you about the gates of hell being open. There are literal demons, not people from another lifetime, that are attacking light workers right now. Light workers, listen up. You are being called to your purpose. And if you don't get off your butt, not necessarily you, Angel, but you brought this up. Demons are getting you out of complacency, because a lot of you have had a spiritual practice for years and you're like, okay, I'm all good, but you're not. And so the demons are attacking you because you're the weak link. So get up off your butt, reclaim your power, reclaim your purpose. That's on you. So if the outcome is you to be, with a bunch of demons stacked all over you all the time, then quit. Then just don't work on your spiritual gifts. Don't dust yourself off. But if you want to be more empowered and have less demonic attacks, then, take action and get back into your empowerment. But again, Angel, this isn't you. It's just you brought it up. It made me think of it. Okay. She said, I had to call on Archangel Michael and his Legion of Light for help. That's exactly right. You did fantastic. The Legion of Light. I couldn't wake myself up. Yep. And that's it, because you're in that state of fighting. Your soul is actually fighting the spiritual battle, like right above your body. So that's why the body can't wake up, because the soul's not fully seated in it. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if I can get the rest of this. Darn it, uh-oh. Okay, here we are. Okay, let's says Carlos had me several windows. Yeah, okay. So another person that you're working with had asked you if you'd been somewhere like a cemetery, because you had a lot of entities attached to you. I'm telling you, sensitives, I see a lot of people dropped off from my earlier message, and I'm glad that those of you that stuck it out. But highly sensitive people, empath starseeds, we have a light. If we haven't been shielding ourselves and up leveling ourselves, a lot of these demonics, a lot of the dark energies, they are desperate because they know they're about to lose. Okay, from a Christian standpoint. From my standpoint, these are dark beings, dark entities that realize that there's an opportunity like never before for them to go to the light, because this place we are in space and time, with all the universes lined up, with the way the planets are, with where our grand design is going, they're like, me, help me. I want to go back to the light. And that's why they're coming to you, because they can. That's why you got to strengthen your shields. And that doesn't mean you're strengthening your shields because you don't want to help them. You're strengthening your shields so you don't get dirty from all of the negative energy they bring in. It's to be able to stand solid, stand tall, stand firm, and be able to help those beings and clear them over to the light if that's where they want to go. And you remain solid. Okay, let's see here. Amy, good to see you. Marilyn, nice to see you. Let's see here. Good. Angel recognizes that in her dream, she was wrestling. So anytime you're wrestling with a demon in your dream, it means your soul is literally battling. You've done an out of body, if you will, and your physical body isn't waking up because it's got to support that battle. Let's see. Deborah says, will a white candle help? Deborah, if that works for you, fine. But I'm telling you, it's not about candles. It's not about smudging. It's not about how many Hail Marys you say. It's about you taking your schmegging power back. There's lots of tools that can help you do that. But it's about everybody taking their power back and realizing who they are. Time to walk forward. Hi, Tanya, good to see you. Let's see, Paul said, I dreamed of a building that turned out to be a totally inadequate foundation and had to start all over again. Okay, yes, Paul, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You have a building, a structure, your physical body, perhaps your spiritual awareness, your spiritual consciousness, that we all have a foundation. And if that foundation is of clay and we end up putting steel on the top of it, it's going to topple over. Right now, what's happening is a lot of us starseeds, empaths, highly sensitive people, we've been working in this arena for a long time, whether you're sitting here, you know, publicly or at home. And right now where we are is a total and complete game changer. Everything is shaking up. Everything is shifting. I'd like to get on and do another live this week. We'll see what my timing is like, but I'd like to talk about what's coming out of the second dimension and, you know, what's happening there and why is that happening? Because we've got the second dimension opening up, shaking things up. Third dimension is shaking things up. Fourth dimension is shaking things. Fourth dimension is shaking things up. And we've got people that are transcending timelines right now to work out karma. So we got a lot of stuff going on. And then if that's not enough fun, whatever you see when you turn the TV news on. Hello, Tanya. Nice. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, seeing a lot of activity. Hello, Barb. Let's see here. Oh, yes, Paul, I'm on fire tonight. You know, it's a time to be on fire. I actually wanted to stand up and do this broadcast tonight instead of sitting, but I couldn't find a way to prop up my camera before showtime. Otherwise, I'd be pacing back and forth. Hey, Jade, how you doing? Yes, Polly, if you've had enough of the dark entities, take your power back. Come join us this Saturday. I think it's 10 o'clock your time, but it's 8 Mountain Standard Time. The total cost for you to get into this event is $24.39. And yes, there's a reason for those numbers. So this is like an hour, if you want to call it a workshop, could easily be a couple $100, but I put it at $24.39. I want as many light workers to get this information as they can. If you can't see it live, yes, of course, you can watch the recording. The Angels of Light and the other beings I'm working with have already received instructions and agreed to be there when every time the person plays the recording, no matter how many times they play it, they'll be there. And so after today, I'm going to raise it up to $48.78 simply because I have to process more stuff later, because as soon as you all sign up, you get a whole bunch of stuff that I don't even talk about to get you ready for this event. Okay, so let's see here. Angel, I'm glad you received that well. Amy, I'm glad you received that well. You're welcome. Let's see here. Sherry, nice to see you. Loretta, good to see you. Let's see here. And Deborah says again, will burning a white candle protect me? Deborah, burning the white candle is very much a way to connect with God's spirit source. It's a way to activate your own power. So if you want to burn it, great. If you don't, that's fine too. This is about taking your power back. You know, the white candle is good, and it can certainly help you raise your vibration and your concentration level, but the energy is coming down from God's spirit of source, up from Earth Mother, and is within us. And the empowerment comes from within. Okay, that's pretty much it. Again, I started up putting stars on my Tuesday Night Live. I've been doing this Tuesday Night Live. Oh gosh, I'm going to say maybe 7, 8 years now. I'd have to go back and look and see how many. And I've always done it for free. I'm asking that you could give back a little bit just by clicking the stars on the bottom. If you don't know about the star program, look it up on Facebook and they'll tell you how to get involved in it. And it just helps me keep the lights on here. And I really appreciate it. It shows me that there is value to the program. So anyway, I love you bunches, everybody. Hugs and kisses. And it's been a wonderful time tonight. I appreciate all of you that hang on till the end. Please share the video. I would like to see this thing shared 1,000 times if that is possible. If you're on my YouTube, please share. There's a little link that you can do it. Then also on my webpage, I'm not sure if you can share that that way. Anyway, so for all the light workers, highly sensitive people, star seeds out there, remember, every day and every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Every day and every way, I'm getting healthier and healthier. Every day and every way, I'm getting wiser and wiser. Say that a few times a day. Use your fist, use your tactile, jump around, get that energy high because we're going to need it. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Make sure you get good food to eat and that you keep yourself focused on your purpose. Don't let the dark side give you a shiny object and take you away from your true divine purpose. If you want to find out more about the Spiritual Awakening Academy and how to get started, please send me a private message. I believe it's up here on Facebook, or you can go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, click contact, and there's a way to get a hold of me there if you're interested. Have a great and wonderful night. Big hugs and kisses, and I will see you next week.